In Genesis chapter 16, Abram and Sarai make a big mistake. Instead of waiting for God to fulfill his promise of offspring, they try to fulfill God's promise in their own time and in their own way. Not a good idea, and I speak from experience. Who of us has not run ahead of God at some point in our lives? Here's what we see in verses 1 and 2. Now Sarai, Abram's wife, had borne him no children, and she had an Egyptian maidservant whose name was Hagar. So Sarai said to Abram, "See now, the Lord has restrained me from bearing children. Please go into my maid. Perhaps I shall obtain children by her." And Abram heeded the voice of Sarai. Sarai is now 75 years old. It's been 10 years since God's promise of offspring, and Sarai is getting anxious. She suggests to Abram that he have a child with her handmaiden Hagar. As per a custom of the day, a barren woman could have a child via her maidservant. Abram heeds her voice, sort of like Adam did in the garden, reminding us that a wife can give great advice, but advice contrary to God's direction should not be heeded. This plan of theirs is an example of self-reliance, self-effort, fleshly fulfillment, and Abram and his descendants will pay a huge price for their impatience. Abram and Hagar will produce a son named Ishmael, and later, much later, Abram and Sarai will produce a son named Isaac. In the book of Galatians, Paul refers to Ishmael as the son born according to the flesh, self-effort, whereas he refers to Isaac as the son born according to the Spirit, the son of promise. Let's remember, God does not need our help to fulfill his promises. For example, God has promised believers in Christ that he'll meet our basic needs, such as food and clothing. Thus, there's no need to do anything illegal, immoral, or unwise to put food on the table. God will provide in his time in some way. For example, a new job, a raise, the generosity of others, an unexpected windfall at just the right time, or the cutting of expenses. God will provide. Now, if Abram, the father of faith, could waver, then we too need to be on our guard. And if Abram, after wavering, could still be used to do amazing things, then that gives us hope that despite past wavering, we too can still be used to do amazing things. Let's walk in the Spirit, not the flesh. Let's rely upon God, not upon our own self-effort and our own ideas of how we think God should work. God is faithful to fulfill his promises. Let's trust him to do just that in his time and in his way. Thanks for listening.